otro extremo del salón. Ahí van a tener acceso a los headphones. Les va a permitir tener la traducción en simultáneo de lo que sucede en la conferencia de prensa. A las cámaras les pedimos que si se van a ubicar en el centro, por favor lo hagan por
Ahí se me cortó.
que ya están instaladas porque va a haber transmisión en vivo vía streaming. No debería
Se me cortó, no.
tapar esa posición.
¿Qué pasa?
No escucha, dice.
No escucho el...
No te escuchando ella.
Está saliendo todo.
No, sí, recién escuchaba, ahora no. Se cortó.
No, Nacho se cortó. Fíjate la adaptadorcita ahí, amigo. No.
¿Música, nada?
No.
A mí tampoco no me está llegando música, nada. No está llegando nada.
A los colegas que tienen cámaras, por favor, respetemos las posiciones que ya están ubicadas. Vamos a hacer esta conferencia de prensa en vivo en streaming.
Sí.
Y esas son las cámaras que van a hacer esa transmisión. Por ahí.
No, pero ¿por qué si vos me estás dando el envío que no?
Sí.
También sepan que van a contar con imágenes en video y en fotografías oficiales de la compañía. Se las vamos a estar enviando en el transcurso de la jornada o quizás mañana, si van a tener material también oficial para poder ilustrar las notas que vayan preparando.
¿Escuchamos musiquita ahí?
Sí, ahí sí.
Para quienes vayan recibiendo sus headphones, el canal 4 es el canal en inglés y el canal 5 en español. Lo van a recibir en el idioma en que lo piden, pero por si se les va de sintonía, sepan que el 5 es en español y el 4 en inglés.
Ya tienen separado 3 micrófonos. Dos igual creo que van a usar, pero 3 son...
Ninguno traduce otro idioma.
No, este es francés.
Estaría bueno que el micrófono traduzca ya. En cualquier momento aparece.
Comenzamos en unos minutitos cuando todos los colegas cuenten con la tecnología necesaria para poder acceder a los distintos idiomas. Reitero, necesitamos el pasillo central liberado porque tenemos allí cámaras que están transmitiendo en vivo vía streaming. Así que si necesitan hacer fotografías, bueno, los fotógrafos lo saben, pero lo digo igual, tengan en cuenta eso, tenemos las cámaras atrás. Y sepan también que van a recibir todo el material fotográfico y el video que necesiten para ilustrar el material que vayan recogiendo hoy aquí. Muy bien, bienvenidos y bienvenidas a todos aquí en el Centro de Convenciones. Vamos a invitar primeramente a Francisco Altamira, él es personal de seguridad de
Welcome to our event. Mr. Altamira will give some instructions regarding the safety that is usually spoken for mining companies. Good afternoon. Before everything, I will give you the instructions, the safety instructions. First, if we need to evacuate the place for an emergency case, please follow the indications of the safe emergency exits that are on the screen. It's important to be calm and to leave the place in a calm way. You must not come back to the building until it is safe. We also have an ambulance outside the building in case we need it. I also remember that it's forbidden to smoke in this building, and the toilets are in front of the principal door of this place. Thank you, Francisco. Today, with the inauguration of the production plant of battery grade, it's a historical event for mining, for the province of Salta, and from Argentina. It is a big event in La Puna this morning. Eramine South America SA gave its startup of its company in Centenario Ratones salt float in a place of great beauty and mineral wealth that started more than 12 years ago. The battery-grade lithium carbonate is the final product, the perfect final product for the electric vehicles batteries. We are planning a strategical transition of energy. This conference press is preceded by Crystal Boris, the Chief Executive Officer, Mr. John Lee, and Alejandro Moro, General Manager of Eramine South America. We will share a video in which the position of Eramine is shown.
Aquí es donde empezó todo. En el Centro de Investigación e Innovación Eramine Ideas, en Francia, con el desarrollo de un filtro original, una tecnología protegida por 12 patentes, que mejora la eficiencia del proceso de extracción de litio hasta niveles sin precedentes y reduce drásticamente su impacto en el medio ambiente. Y aquí es donde cobra vida, en Centenario, un salar situado a 4.000 metros sobre el nivel del mar, en la provincia de Salta, en Argentina, y uno de los mayores yacimientos de salmueras de litio del mundo. Aquí, Eramine, una empresa conjunta entre Eramet y Tsingshan, está implementando la tecnología de extracción directa de litio de Eramet para producir y refinar 24.000 toneladas anuales de carbonato de litio para baterías a partir del segundo semestre de 2025. Eramet tiene el plan de aumentar la producción en 30.000 toneladas por año, con una segunda planta, adaptándose a las difíciles condiciones de esta zona desértica, viento, frío, calor y altitud. Los equipos de Eramine han combinado sus conocimientos y su experiencia para crear una de las instalaciones sostenibles de extracción y producción de litio más eficientes del mundo. La tecnología de punta de Eramet extrae más del 90% del litio contenido en la salmuera a temperatura ambiente, 80 veces más rápido que los procesos convencionales de evaporación natural, y recicla el 60% del agua dulce que consume. Una mina de alto rendimiento con 19 pozos que bombean salmuera de litio desde una profundidad de 400 metros, muy por debajo del nivel freático. Una planta con bajas emisiones de carbono, gracias a más de 5 años de experiencia en la gestión de una planta de demostración. Un enfoque responsable hacia las comunidades vecinas y hasta la provincia de Salta, y proyectos locales que mejoran el desarrollo económico y el bienestar de las comunidades. Aquí, en Centenario, se prepara el escenario para la transformación de Eramine en un referente mundial de la producción sostenible de litio.
Invitamos a la señora Crystal Bory,
Mrs. Crystal Bory, the Chief Executive Officer, to welcome to this event. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm very happy to have all of you here, and today is a very special day for Eramine team, for the Chinese and Argentinian backwards. And so, because today we celebrate the inauguration of our lithium production plant and the out of it commissioning, it is a significant milestone not only for our company, but also for the region, for Argentina, and for the global market of metals for the energy transition. As we embark on this new chapter, we are proud to contribute to the sustainable development and economic growth of Salta province and Argentina, creating jobs and fostering innovation. I'll begin with a brief overview of the project that you have seen quite a lot in the video we played before. I will talk about some of the economic and the key stakes and the commitment. And then, of course, we will have a lot of time for your questions. So first, I would like to emphasize the important to understand that this plant is not a simple evaporation plant and refining. It is a complex hydrometallurgical technology that combines in a quite compact and integrated footprint the extraction of the brine at 450 meters of depth, its processing with a selective direct extraction of the lithium, and the refining of this lithium into a lithium carbonate battery grade. And when developed this technology and the corresponding engineering has required 10 years of R&D that has led to 12 patents, an R&D pilot, and 5 years of testing and production in a pilot plant on site. And it is today one of the most efficient direct lithium extraction process in the world, with a lithium recovery rate of approximately 90% versus the 50% for conventional processes. Short lead times, it takes 1 week to process the brine versus 12 to 18 months with the evaporation process. It reduces physical and environmental footprint, so it has a superior water balance and no major surface disturbance. So all of this is a result of Eramine's strong commitment to innovation. And building such a technical plant on a remote salar at 4,000 meters of altitude in extreme weather conditions required to overcome significant human, logistic, and industrial challenges. It started with good exploration work carried out in the 2010s. At that time, the lithium market was tiny and barely emerging, but Eramine team discovered and decided to secure what is now one of the largest deposits in the world, with 15 million tons of certified resources. Then, with no pre-existing commercial presence in the country, our first priority has been to engage a constructive dialogue with local communities to explain the project and get their support. Over the years, we've established trusting relationships with them and with the local authorities. I want to sincerely thank them for the incredibly win-win relationship we managed to create in such a short time. Then we started the construction, and our teams, together with our partners, overcame considerable logistical and industrial challenges. As I said, such remote and isolated place with difficult working conditions at 4,000 meters above sea level, 8 hours drive away from Salta, with the first settlement being only 50 kilometers away from the site. And it was with no infrastructure. It was really adverse and challenge, and we did it. We did it together, and not only we need the plant, but we brought infrastructure we needed. A gas compression plant, 3 lifetime, and we brought this at the same time on. We needed roads, an airship, a gas compression plant, and a life camp for up to 1,600 workers. We have a safety commitment. We have a total recordable injury rate under the level of 2, which is very low, for about 7 million hours of construction activity. And we invested $8,700 million, entirely financed by Eramine and Xinjiang. So once operating, the plant should be positioned in the first quartile of the cost curve, which is very important to resist to the downs of the cycle, and allowing an annual EBITDA estimated at between 210 and 315 million, based on a long-term price assumption of between 15,000 and 20,000 per ton in carbonate equivalent. So this inauguration today marks a key milestone for all the key stakeholders of this amazing project. It is a key milestone for Eramine. First, we became the first European company to extract and produce battery-grade lithium on an industrial scale. And we have started the operation of one of the largest lithium deposits. It is about 50 million tons of resource, 40 years available resources is the life of the mine, which is huge. And we have ambitious production targets of the lithium carbonate in November. We were planning to start of production in November, and as early as 2025, and after a ramp-up period, it should go 24,000 tons per year of lithium carbonate. It is an annual production equivalent to 600,000 electric vehicles batteries per year. Due to the huge potential of the deposit, we have already planned for the second plant 30,000 tons of lithium carbonate per year. And the start of construction is subjected to obtaining construction permits and measures from the province, and the economy merging of investments in Argentina. The implementation is coming in the following weeks, and this is obviously very important for us this year. We want to continue to work here in Argentina, but also Eramine. We are starting to invest in Chile, where we have a good recently concession for 120,000 hectares of exploration and mining concessions. And the concessions are located in the heart of the lithium triangle and covers a cluster of lithium salars in the Atacama region of northern Chile. So it's a milestone for, I'd say, for our members, for our employees who have done a tremendous job building the plant and will now strive to deliver the commissioning and accelerate the ramp-up and to operate at the best-in-class level. I would like to thank them warmly for all the good job that they've done during the last 3 years. And the plant, when it will be fully working, it will create 350 direct jobs in operations and over 1,200 indirect jobs around us. It's also a key milestone for our stakeholders as Eramine strives to have a positive impact on local economy development. During the construction phase, we have spent $489 million locally and a contribution to the creation of more than 2,500 direct jobs in Salta region. Constructing the plant, about 80% of those jobs were filled by workers from the province, which is very important for the local economy. In 2023, only the Eramine's economic contribution in Argentina was about 340 million euros in total, and with the community actions cover 1,170 beneficiaries and various topics. In the production phase, the economic impact for the region of Salta and Argentina should represent 160 million per year dollars, which leads to an estimated of 3.3 thousand million in 20 years. We have launched this year an initiative for Eramine beyond the contribute impacts. We've launched Pro Mujer, Women for Future, that was launched this year. 1,200 women entrepreneurs will be trained, mentored, and supported to create their own local business in 3 years. And also we have another foundation, Por Nuestros Niños, and foundation of triple impact. It's a creation and growth of microenterprises with a financial, environmental, and social impact for children. And I think most of all important of this project is that it would benefit from our strong CSR commitment and our implementation of sustainable mining standards with the initiative for responsible mining assurance standards. It is the highest standards in the mining industry, and Eramine is committed to the best international standards in terms of CSR and human rights. I told you that it's a local population that has been given their approval to the project through a free and informed process which has been renewed in 2022. And of course, all the standards aim to respect for biodiversity and environmental preservation. So we are committed to have all its sites audited by IRMA, and also this plant will be audited externally next year to be in line. This is a full demanding standard. This is a brief introduction, but it's an important day for Eramine and Lithium in Argentina. It is important for us, for our employees, for our partners, for the region, and I think today it's also important day for future generations, because we need more and more sustainable methods in order to support a cleaner world in the future, a greener world. And we definitely think that together we are contributing to that. And this is the first step to what will be in the future. Thank you very much. And I'm ready to answer your questions. Thank you. Thank you, Cristel. Thank you for this introduction. For our Spanish-speaking colleagues, we'll have this presentation in Spanish, but we wanted to share the most emotive moment in the Puna this morning, the countdown of the startup of the company.
Vamos a dar inicio oficial a la puesta en servicio de la planta. Los invitamos a colocar su mano
countdown down this morning
y con una cuenta regresiva que
in
vamos
the Puna.
a activar esta nueva
They will
etapa en la
activate
historia de
pressing the
Eramine
button,
y del camino
the
que
countdown,
transitamos juntos. La cuenta regresiva la hacemos
and the
todos.
road to be
¿Estamos listos?
worked together will be opened. They are ready. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now. And this is as we, from the heart of our Puna, we found the hidden treasure. The lithium travel is a way of changing of the future. Altogether, we are going into clean energy and into the integration of Argentina and the world. This was this morning in the Puna, so we are here in this historical day. So now we are going to start with a round of questions of the media. They will have the microphones to make the questions. They will have a consecutive translation here in the stage. So we can start. Hello, good afternoon. Sebastián Quinteros for Informate Salta. First of all, congratulations for this startup. And my question is the economical impact in terms of royalties and the social impact in the communities. Thank you.
Okay, good afternoon.
Okay, good afternoon.
I wanted to ask about the lithium process of the growth and the impact that it will have here in the province of Salta.
Se puede ver más grande. Thank you very much for the question. Well, I believe that Cristel, in her introduction, gave huge numbers about all that this project has left in the province. From the 500 million left in Argentina, we calculate that the 80% is going to stay here in Salta. It will be this was done during the last 3 years. From now on, the province is benefited from all this with local work, more than 350 people working here, Saltenian people working here. It gets benefits from the royalties paid to the provinces directly, and in our particular case, we have an association where we have more royalties to the province just to stay within the province. So it's a very contributive and very valuable your contribution here in the province and in the country.
¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo le va? Buenas tardes.
Hello, good
Bienvenidos.
afternoon.
José Ruiz para Canal 10.
Welcome, José Ruiz for Channel 10. Hello, good afternoon. We have read in the introduction that you are planning many things for the future. How is this new basis law approved by the national government? How it is going to to impact in these future plans?
It has a significant importance.
It has a significant importance because it shows that, in fact, Argentina is always coming large, is looking for foreign investment in mining. We have to understand that we made quite a big bet in investing here without having the free exchange rate. So when you ask foreign investor to reinject money into the country, and then you want to extract and everything, it's very difficult for an investor. There are a lot of resources, there are a lot of talents here to passively invest in the country. We really wanted to do that because formerly there were some decrees that were already given to get back sort of the currency of the country, and the new law will free totally for this project the currencies that you can in fact expatriate to pay back your loans,
to remunerate your shareholders. That's the first thing.
That's the first thing. And of course, we'll be happy to invest or be part of this project locally. As we said, we injected a lot of money into the country, but we have to be able to be free with the currency exchange. To be free with the currency exchange is very important as foreign investors.
Which is also very important because you know that the repayment of VAT is a challenge in this country.
The repayment is a challenge in this country, so there is also stability. Limited or zero duties on imports or exports, which are already also very important factors, because most of the lithium battery grade will be exported out of the country, and so it's important to be able to do it in a free way. So yes, this new law incentivizes the future investment in the country.
You have seen with the big number.
You have seen that we have a big number articulated.
It's a highly capital-intensive business.
It's a highly intensive business.
It's quite sophisticated.
So it's quite sophisticated.
You have to build
launch.
So you have to build quite
a lot of capex on the table. So it's a risk. So they are risky bets, I would say. So to put all the economic frame in order to make this bet easier for foreign investor is a really very important thing. So we are welcoming it, and we'll certainly accept this decision of building this lithium plant. Next question. Good afternoon. I'm from El Tribuno newspaper, and as the Puna region is developing and has it demands to they have big demands of infrastructure and logistic to help with the development of La Puna. How do you manage all this development? Thank you for the question. These projects are really challenging, talking about logistics. If you know the Puna, it's really hard to have access to this place. So it was really, really hard to put that plant of 600,000 tons of steel in the Puna. So we have the infrastructure is a very hard topic in the Puna. The roads are bad. We need electricity. We need efficient energy. We need green energy to be connected into the national lines. So there is a big infrastructure demand. So we are always talking with the government to find a way to carry on with these projects. The microphone, please.
Sumarle en cuanto a logística.
The logistical aspect is the same. We are now grateful to see that the province is going to start to make new roads. So they are to avoid 150 kilometers to arrive to the plant. So it will be easier. I mean, with better roads, it will be easier to reach to the plant. We will have many trucks with supplies, and we need to invest on the infrastructure of the roads. Thank you very much. Next question. Good morning. My name is Germán Salomón, and I work in Channel 10. I'm specialized in mining, in the mining industry. And I would like to ask you about the last part. You talked about the logistic about this plant, because when this plant is in the final stage of the production, how would you be able to transport all the final products to the final destinations, I mean, to the ports? So I wanted to ask if, besides the roads, are you thinking about developing the train transport? As, for example, in Chile, all the logistic is easier because they are much nearer the ports, and here in Argentina we are far away from the ports. So, what did you think about that?
Yeah, maybe you can answer.
Maybe you can answer about the train, but in fact, we estimate that for the first plant, in terms of lithium carbonate, we will need 3 to 4 trucks a day. So, and this will go through Chile to Antofagasta and be shipped from there, because it's much easier to do it in that way. What is the more challenging is to bring the inputs and the reagents for the process, and it requires more trucks, and this is coming from different places. But again, in terms of the outputs, the production of the plant, we are not talking of so many trucks going out, and again, it will be surely through Chile. Do you want to comment about the train? We are also talking with the Belgrano Cargas train company. It is fundamental that we have a train system developed. So many trucks on that road is very dangerous. We have 2 or 3 projects more near our area that will surely put more trucks on the roads. So for us, it's fundamental to develop a train system of transport, because it gives you the access to the Argentinian and Chilean ports. Next question. Hello, my name is Agustina Incensi from Clarín newspaper. I wanted to ask you if the second plant is really confirmed, or if it is conditioned to the implementation of the RIGI and of financial topics in the new basis law. And if it is confirmed, We've been told in February that it was another 800 million. So I want to know if you are thinking about that same inversion.
So the answer is pre-approved, and we have
it has been pre-approved
together with our partner on some studies, on some early purchase.
And we are sent money for our early study, but the definitive approval is subject to the permit. So we need the permitting from the province even for the early works, but as we don't have it yet, so it is subject for the permit and it is subject for the final implementation of the RIGI project, because we want to know the condition which this project will be eligible in terms of tax and economic conditions. So it's subjected to both, and it is obviously very important for our shareholders. And I explained earlier the ability also to be able to capitalize the exchange currency. And
regarding the capex,
we are still we are really thinking about $800 million, despite the fact this plant has a new design with a better capacity, and it's also taking into account the fact that some infrastructure cost can be shared between the first and the second plant. And the fact that recently we have suffered from a lot inflation in the past for the first plant. So we hope we will have a bit less of inflation in the future for the second one. So yes, the expected capex for the second plant is around $800 million. Next question.
Sorry?
She's asking for the next question.
Next question.
Next question.
Hola, ¿qué tal?
Hello.
Por aquí. Mi nombre es Diego Comba.
Hello. My name is Diego Comba. For the influencer, in the introduction you said that through this new process of extraction, the 60% of fresh water is recycled. What this recycling thing consists of, and is it possible to improve this process to recycle a higher percentage of the water? Yes, we are talking about
first there is a brine,
and an industry water. By the way, not the water for the communities, the surface waters that the communities are using. We're pumping water that is not drinkable water. It is not used by the communities, but we are pumping waters from lower in the aquifers. What is important to understand is that in terms of water management, this region, in this area, it rains much more than Atacama region, that always is we have water stress issues. Here it rains 30 to 40 times more, so it wouldn't be an issue. But in spite of that, we continue to try to use less and less water. And one of the design changes we've made for the second plant is to be able to consume even less water in the process. So the process that we have overall is very careful of all the environmental balance and the water balance in the aquifer, because the high yield we pump less water. We managed to capture 90% of the brine versus the other standard processes that capture only 50% of the lithium in the brine. So with 90%, you need, for same quantity, you need to pump less brine. So we recycle the waters we are using.
60% of it. The rest is
we recycle the 60% of water, and the rest is evaporated in the process when we dry the lithium. So that's something we are working on, to use less water overall, but globally, what we extract in terms of water is 5 times less with the additions or regenerations from the rain in this system. So we are not affecting the water balance of the region. But nevertheless, we are working reducing the water consumption, because it works better for the process anyway. Thank you. Next question. Hello. Good afternoon. Oscar Correas for Aries. I wanted to ask you that from now on, what will be the investment to be done in the future after this inauguration here in Salta?
Okay, thank you very much for your question.
Thank you very much for the question. Jinsang is a Chinese company, and we have very long time a relationship with Eramet. So we are successfully
in the nickel business in Indonesia,
in Indonesia, in a project. Probably it will be the biggest nickel project in the world. This time in Argentina, Jinsang and Eramet, we had the second time to cooperate, and today is a remarkable day.
Jinsang is a
it's a nickel company, and 5 years ago we also started. We are now in the stage 3, Stern nickel in China. Nickel and lithium are energy metals, so this is the reason for following Eramet in 2022, and we entered in Argentina and invested in this project. And we will continue working closely with Eramet for phase 2.
And
if the conditions are met. And also, Jinsang is a separate company. We are also thinking about investing in Argentina, especially from upstreams, because our company would like to invest in the supply chain. So maybe you heard about that we are a chemical factory, that we produce caustic sodas for the supply of our joint venture, and also in the future to satisfy needs in the lithium triangle. Thank you very much. Thank you. Another question?
Buenas tardes, Juan Pablo Vázquez para el
Good afternoon, Juan Pablo Vázquez.
Consultarles junto lo que fue
I wanted to ask you about the basis law that some acts have been approved regarding the royalties. So the provinces have the autonomy to go with this royalty regime. So we want to know if you are going to follow these royalties addition here in La Puna. Thank you. Sorry, but I haven't seen you. You see, just today, in the ceremony we had in the Puna, the governor, according to the last consulting company, Fraser, in terms of mineral attraction, Salta was ranked number 16 in the world, and first in South America as a mining jurisdiction. And he said that it is because
términos de seguridad jurídica
the law, the legal framework that this province offers a very safe legal framework. So from the point of view of an investor, you have the security, the safety to invest with clear rules, with clean rules. So what was settled was that the royalties were at a 3%, and that number was leveled up to the 5%. So our great hope is that the government of Salta continues maintaining the actual financial rules, just to make us all feel comfortable. Just to add to that, we are not paying only paying royalties to the province, but also to REMSA, that we have already paid much more than the 3%. So it is something that you have to keep in mind. And the second thing I would like to highlight is what is very, very important for any investor, more than incentive, is the stability. When we make a decision of investment, we know the rules at the time we do the investment. And we plan, and our forecast, our business plan, we plan this business plan with these rules. When the rules change and change for the worse, it's creating a lot of disturbance, and it is creating an issue for the investors. So what investors like is stability. Is when we make a decision, we know the rules. If we may like them or not, but the most important thing is the stability. So it creates uncertainties that the investors don't like. So now, one more question. Good afternoon. How are you? José Tapia from the Union newspaper in San Antonio de los Cobres. I came with Vicente Arias. We've been working with the company, along with the company, during the construction and this startup. So we are really proud of this startup, and it's very nice for us to have this plant working within the community. We would like to know if there will be a credit line for the suppliers of the local suppliers. We are willing to make all we want to get all the inputs and everything for local suppliers. What do you think about that? Thank you for the question. And yes, we are very happy after a long period of exploration and investments to have reached to this moment and be about to produce. We listen a lot about lithium, but not everyone knows about the quantity of years you have to invest and explore to get to this point. So luckily, we are already here. You mentioned credit lines. It is not in our plans, but we have did it in the past, and we are continue doing it. That it's to enable local producers from La Puna and Salta to develop local businesses to bring us services. So this is one of the big challenges from now on. There are many companies that will collaborate in the production, and suppliers from Salta need to be ready to work with us. So our vision, our strategical vision, is to help local suppliers to develop, to be ready to play this game, and to work together in an equal situation, and to be in a win-win situation between supplier and company. Now, colleagues, we will have only 2 questions. Constanza Sintioni is a sustainable chief, and we have a protocolar agenda, so we'll have the last 2 questions, and then we'll continue with our agenda.
Fíjate atrás para poder encenderlo.
Good afternoon. I am from Vorterix Salta. I wanted to know what will be the final destination of the lithium carbonate.
In fact,
there is no
offtake agreement
that have been set for the time being. First, you have to know that we are partners. So Eramine will commercialize its part, about 50% of the total volumes, and Tsingshan will commercialize its own part. And as John said, they have their own battery business, but they can also send to other customers. Regarding Eramine, today the vast majority of the market is in Asia. In China, for probably 85% of the market, and the rest is Korea and Japan. So the probabilities that the first sale will be in China and the rest of Asia is very high. In Europe, there are only 2 plants consuming lithium carbonate for batteries, and so it represents just a few percent of the total consumption of the world. So we'll be happy as Eramine to, of course, be able to feed European value chain, what it will be developing,
and also for these 2 plants,
and also with the 2 plants, the highest probabilities that is that in the beginning we sell into China and the rest of Asia. Do you want to complete? Actually,
we have a sales team.
Our sales team is actually doing the market campaign. So
to several customers and also ourselves, our internal customers.
Our internal customers.
We show them the battery degree lithium
to produce from Argentina, from Salta. And the current response from our customers in China is very good, actually. So they are waiting for the product, and we are waiting for the lithium to test the market. I believe that the Chinese market and the Korean market,
some of the Korean battery producers, we believe that the purity of the product meets most of the requirements. It should be no problem.
And of course,
if the market one day, the battery market develops in Latin America, we'll be happy also to supply any battery business that we can develop in Argentina or elsewhere in Latin America. Thank you. Last question. I am Analia Brizuela from Página 12 in Salta. I wanted to know the life of a plant, of a lithium plant. I wanted to know if it is about 40 years of life. I want to know if the second plant projected will be of that same duration, and if the plant will be in the Arizaro salt flat or in other concession areas. And the last question is, why for Mr. Monto? Why you wouldn't feel comfortable with 5% royalties if in Chile the royalties and taxes are much superior, and anyway companies invest in Chile? The first question is quite easy. The second plant will be in Centenario Ratones. The deposit is huge. It will be in the northern part of the Salad, so 60 to 70 kilometers away from the first plant. It will be in the same deposit, and again we have to get certified of 60 million tons of resource, so we are still exploring another areas.
Concession as well.
We have that Arizaro concession, but we are starting the exploration in the time being, but it is in a longer term. Centenario is so big that we can accommodate the second plant and the third plant without any problem. So we will start first using the resource of Centenario to start with. But we are exploring in Arizaro at the same time. Regarding your comments, you have to keep in mind that first there are much more projects today in Argentina than in Chile, and probable for good reasons. Tell me, how many new projects do you have in Chile right now? There are extensions of existing concessions, SQM, Albormar, but there are not new projects. And because today it's quite difficult in Chile, so it's really interesting. It's an interesting country for lithium, and we are working on it, but they don't have many projects. So Argentina is attracting most of the projects. So the second thing is that you cannot require the same level of royalties when you don't have the same level of concentration of lithium. We mentioned, and we are happy with that because it is a good concentration, but what we have on average in the deposit is 24 milligrams per liter of brine. What we today pump is 500 milligrams. So in Atacama, there are 1,000 tons at some places, and at some places they have 2,000 when we are.
So when you have such a concentration,
you can make a huge profit, and that's why the royalties can be much higher. So you have to keep in mind when you compare royalties, you also keep in mind the quality of the brine each country have.
No, it's not so much the
duration of the plant. We make a calculation of the resource that we have versus the plant production, but we think that there is plenty of room to have a long life of those plants anyway. Thank you. Thank you, colleagues. I remember you that you will have available Constanza Cintioni just to answer more punctual regional questions in case you want to interview her. We want to thank Mrs. Christelle Bory, Mr. John Lee, and Mr. Alejandro Moro for their time and the press conference. Thank you, and see you in another opportunity. Thank you very much for all.